Students, this assignment in Photoshop is all about your understanding of how to use layers in Photoshop. We are going to be picking one of your favorite subs from Subway, and you're going to be designing it in Photoshop. Now, it's not going to look like a traditional picture of a sandwich. It'll just be layers stacked on top of each other. So all the ingredients of your sub are not necessarily going to be visible. Things will be hidden behind each other. But the purpose of this activity is for you to get an understanding of how to make layers in Photoshop. The purpose of the activity is not to have a realistic looking sandwich. So, with that in mind, let's go out to the internet. And I have the Subway menu here, and I'm going to pick my favorite sandwich. I'd encourage you to pick your favorite sandwich. And I'm going to click on the chicken and bacon ranch meal. Ooh, does that look good? So that's the sandwich I'm going to make in Photoshop. Now, when you get into Photoshop and you start to build the base layer of your sandwich, which is the bottom bun, the very first thing that you're going to need to do is create a new layer. We have a background layer here, but we don't necessarily want to paint on that. We want to create a brand new layer, and every time you have a new ingredient for your sandwich, you're going to have to create a new layer. So I'm going to go here where it says layer, new layer. I'm going to title it bottom bun. Keep an eye on the names of your layers. That's part of the rubric. We're going to click OK. Now I have a layer right here that says bottom bun. I'm going to go over here and get my brush tool, and then I'm going to use my size and hardness buttons that are up here, and I'm going to increase the size and get it to about the size of the piece of bread. Okay, and I'm going to put my hardness up here to 100. So I'm at 215 pixels. Maybe I'll do two. Let's say we'll do. You can actually type in there. I'm going to do 245. Okay. So now I'm going to go over here to my color swatch, and I'm going to go here with the slider here and slide up to the orange and see if I can find a nice like red color. So I kind of like that one. I'm going to use that. Get something around there. There we go. So I'm going to click OK. And I'm just going to draw out my bottom bun. And there it is. The bottom bun of my sandwich. It's not photorealistic, and that's okay. You just want to get the basic shape. So that's the bottom bun layer. It's time to add another layer. So next, we're going to put some meat. So let's do that. Now I have my background layer here, and I also have my bottom bun layer there. What I need to do now is create another layer called the meat. So I'm going to go up here to Layer, New, Layer. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to call it Turkey. And then I'm going to click OK. Now I have a third layer, background, bottom bun, and turkey. So this will give me an area to where I can work on the turkey. So I'm going to pick maybe a lighter white color for the turkey. And I'm going to reduce the size. And I'm just going to kind of maybe do some turkey slices here. Like that. And again, it doesn't have to be photorealistic. So we'll say that that's my layer of turkey that's on my sandwich. That's good enough. It can be just that basic. That's fine. The important thing is you have each layer labeled in the correct order. And remember the layering of the layers here goes from top down. So the bun is going to be on the bottom, and you'll stack up and work your way up. So this is the layer for my turkey. Again, if your color does not match exactly, it's okay. If it doesn't look exactly like a slice of turkey, that's okay too. Students, it's time for our next layer of our sandwich, which is going to be the lettuce. So you're going to want to go up here to Layer, New, choose Layer, give it a title. Don't forget to title your layers. You'll lose credit if you don't. Okay, we're going to click OK. So I have a brand new layer here that says lettuce. I'm going to go over here to my color swatch, and I'm going to pick a nice green lettucey color here. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to change the size of my brush. I'm going to dial that down just a little bit right here with size, and maybe I'll change the hardness to the line. Let's see how that looks. Okay. Yeah, it looks okay. Now, I don't really like the mark that I just made, so I'm going to go up here to Edit, and I'm going to choose Step Backward. That'll undo what you just did, okay? Okay. Or alternatively, you can use your eraser tool and just erase it, okay? So, but I'm okay with that. So, let's get the paintbrush tool back, and I'm going to just draw some lettuce on here. And it doesn't have to be super detailed. I'm just doing like lettuce shreds. The point of this project is not for you to make a photorealistic sandwich. The point of the project is for you to make layers in Photoshop. Okay? I like a lot of lettuce on my sandwich, so we're going to load it up. There we go. So I've made the third layer to my sandwich, the lettuce layer. So I've got the bun, turkey, lettuce. These little icons right here will turn off visibility of the layer. So you can start to see how we're building our sandwich up from the bottom up. It's exactly what you need to do. Alright guys, now it's time to create another layer. We're going to do the tomato layer. I'm going to go up here in a new layer. I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it tomato. Then I'm going to click OK. And what you can do here is I'm going to get my brush here, and I want to increase the size. I'm going to use the bracket keys on my keyboard. The brackets are next to the letter P. Now, if I get my tomato too big, it's going to be hanging off the bread of my sandwich, so I'm just going to maybe do about that size right here. And that is not the color that I necessarily want, so I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to choose red. Then I'm going to click OK. And I want to double check the hardness here, and I want my hardness to be at 100%. Okay, so I'm feeling good about that. I'm going to drop some on my sandwich here. And I'm going to look at a reference image here. I used Google Images here, and I searched for cartoon tomato slice. And I kind of like what's going on here with this tomato. So I'm going to try to mimic that. So I'm going to get a pinkish color here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we're going to reduce the size of our brush here. And I'm going to use the brackets there. Let's see what we got. Okay, so kind of looks like bicycle spokes. And let's see what else we got here. We're going to get some seeds. We'll do maybe sort of an orangey color for that. And I will take my bracket keys on my keyboard again, do some little seeds right here. Like so. That's pretty good tomato there. Now, one valuable tool that will come in handy for you is, how do I get back to that pink color? Well, you can go up here to the eyedrop tool and select that. Okay? And then you can go back to your paintbrush tool, increase your brush size, and start drawing your tomato. Okay? The insides of your tomato. And it doesn't have to be photorealistic or anything like that. Just remember this eyedrop tool. It's like a color picker. It'll help you pick colors. And don't forget to switch back to the appropriate tool. Okay? So that's how I'm making my tomatoes. Again, your tomatoes don't have to look perfect. Obviously, my tomatoes don't look perfect, so don't worry about that. The big thing that's important is you get your layers correct. Okay, guys, it's time for our next layer. We're going to make some bacon, because this is the chicken bacon ranch. Now, one of the things that I discovered is that, contrary to popular belief, no, Mr. Metter is not perfect, I made a mistake. So I'm going to click right here. I'm going to double click on that, and I made a mistake, and I called that turkey. So I'm going to rename it chicken. Okay, so it's very easy. If you double click on something, you can rename it. Okay? Now, it's okay that my layer looks like turkey slices. Not a big deal. I made a mistake there. You can go back and you can fix that, and you can, turn it into chicken strips. Actually, I'll do that right now. So what I just did is I got my eraser tool, and I turned in my turkey slices into chicken strips. Like that. Now, one thing I can do if I really wanted to be super cool is I can put some grill marks on my chicken strips. Like that. So it's easy to fix your mistakes as long as you have your layers set up correctly. You can use your eraser tool and fix what you did. So I got my chicken strips here. So that looks good. Now I'm going to bring this back, my layer that's on top to lettuce. I use the little eye button there. So now I've got all my layers, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click layer, new, layer, and we're going to choose, this layer is going to be titled bacon. So there we go. For this layer, I'm going to go get my color swatch here, and I'm going to just get a red, nice red, and we're going to use my bracket keys next to the letter P, and I am just going to put some bacon strips. But you know what I noticed? I don't like that. I'm going to step backwards here. It's the same exact color as my tomato, so I think what I'll do is I'll get kind of maybe like an orangey red color. Like that. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to put some bacon strips on here. That's fine. Maybe what I'll do is get another little bit of red here. Switch it up. So, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We'll say that's my bacon. That's fine. Yours doesn't look exactly like bacon, don't worry about it. So that's the bacon layer. Alright, sandwich artists, let me get you up to speed. I just added a couple more layers. Now, just to recap, to make a new layer, you go up here to layer, new, then layer. Don't forget to title your layer, that's very important. So, we last left off, I was on the bacon layer. I just created a cheese layer, and I'm going to click the little eye icon right here, and I'm going to turn that on. So there are my cheese slices. I'm just clicking this button right here to turn that on and off. So now you can see my cheese. And now I'm going to show you the ranch dressing that I put on my sandwich, because it is a chicken bacon ranch. There it is. There's my ranch dressing layer. It's appropriately titled ranch dressing. And I also like a little bit of oregano on my sandwich, and I went heavy on my oregano. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. Okay, now I'm going to turn it back on and off with the I button right there. Now, I did go a little heavy on that, so I'm going to get my eraser tool here. That's the eraser tool. And you can use this to size it up. And you know what, I might take and just take some of that off. Okay, went a little too crazy with the oregano there. So what's cool about Photoshop is because I just have this layer selected, that is the only thing that's going to erase. Okay, that's the beauty of Photoshop. You can just erase that one little layer. Okay, so I got my oregano there. It's time for me to make a new layer, and I'm going to click new layer, and I'm going to call this top bun. Like, oops, I misspelled it. There you go, top bun. I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to go here to my bottom bun and select that right there. And I'm going to go get my eyedropper tool here. And this is going to help me select the bun color. So here I go. I just click that. See the little eyedrop tool right here? I just selected my bun color. And if you hold down, you see how it picks that color right there. That's the eyedrop tool. Okay. So I have the bun color again. And I'm going to get my paintbrush tool right here and go back. Now, it's very important. This is my active layer. So I'm going to go back up here to the top bun and click on that. And I'm going to make my brush bigger. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna say we'll go a little bit bigger than that. So I'm gonna try to match the size of the circle. So that's pretty close. I'm gonna do that. So there's my top bun, and you know what? I might even take and get the color swatch here and put some like little bread marks on there. And I'm gonna use my keyboard here with my bracket keys, and I might just put some lines on the top just to make my sub like that. So that was my top bun layer. So now I got a sandwich here, and if you click on the eye icon, you can see all the different layers disappear and go all the way down to the bottom bun. So I'm going to turn them all on. I'm building my sandwich up. Everything's in order. Everything's appropriately named. That's exactly what I want you to do. Hey, look, there's some bacon peeking out. That's great. I love a lot of bacon. So get your sandwich layers in the correct order from top bun down to bottom bun, and make sure they're all labeled correctly. Alright, sandwich artists, part of your job and your project is to label what ingredients are in your sandwich. So, we're going to do that now. I'm going to go over here to my color swatch here. I'm going to get the color black, and I'm going to just click OK. Now, this tool right here is the text tool, the T. T for text. There it is. Whoop, there it is, okay? Now, I'm on the top bun as my active layer, so I want to click on the background here, and I'm just going to click on that. And down here at the bottom, I'm just going to click and let's just put some random text out, okay? That's a little bit too small. Well, you can change the size of that by clicking right here and increasing it like so, okay? So I just double-clicked all that and highlighted that, so I'm going to bump that up. So 24 looks good to me. I clicked right here to do that. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that text, and I'm going to put a detailed description of my sandwich right here. Okay, so I'm going to write Mr. Metter's chicken bacon ranch sub sandwich. Just like that. And then I'm going to write the word ingredients. This is what I want you to do. I want you to list them out. And just put bun, chicken, lettuce, tomato, bacon, cheese, whatever toppings you have, you would write out your toppings. So really the only purpose of this is for you to learn how to use the text tool, and also for you to write down what's supposed to be in your sandwich, because I don't really necessarily know what you like in your sandwich. So I'm going to click this right here, and then I can move my text around. So I got right here, it says Mr. Metter's chicken bacon ranch sub sandwich ingredients: bun, chicken, lettuce, tomato, bacon, cheese, ranch dressing, and oregano. That's exactly how You're going to label your ingredients here. Perfect. Okay. And actually, this is cool because it actually just made another layer on top of the background. So that was a bonus there. So don't forget to label your sandwich. Alright, sandwich artist, let's talk about how to save this bad mamma jamma. So I'm going to go up here to File, Save As, and don't forget, you're going to go to Computer and look for your folder and save it there. It's protected there. Yours isn't going to say bms.student. Yours will say first initial, last name, and your lunch number. Then you save it there, okay? And just hit save. Okay, and double click on that. And it's going to look like Mr. Better Sandwich or, John Sandwich, whatever, .psd, Photoshop documents. And click save. And then I'm going to just replace what I had before. That's okay. You see a maximize compatibility. That's fine. Just click OK. You're good to go. So don't forget to save your sandwich